Luka Dončić thinks an injection of sparkling wine and vermouth will heal his leg or something. The Rams are being urged to dump Puka Nacua. It's not happening. Stop it. And Dalton Rushing is boosting the Lakers lineup in spot starts. Good morning. I'm James. And this is your daily dose of sports and snark for the greatest sports city in the world, Los Angeles. This is the Faithful Angelenos Morning Report. It is April 7th, 2026. Welcome back to the home office. Do you like being in the know about LA sports? Well, if you do, click the like button. Click the subscribe button. There's a notification bell. Hit that. It'll let you know when we drop an update. Sharing is caring. Let people know we exist. And by all means, comment. Now, before we go through the news and notes, we have a look at the scoreboard. It was a terrific night for the Angelenos. Starting off with Dodgers 14, Toronto 2. World Series rematch, Dalton Rushing hit 2 of the 5 Dodger home runs. The lead in the NL West increases to 3. The magic number is down to 150. We're going to talk more about Rushing in a few moments. Kings 3, Nashville 2 in a shootout. Adrian Kempe with the game winner and maybe season saver. The Kings leapfrog over the Predators for the 8th and final playoff spot in the Western Conference with 5 games to go. By the way, side note, the Kings have played an NHL record 32 overtime games. Meanwhile today, Dodgers at Toronto at 4. Yoshinobu Yamamoto versus Kevin Gausman. Oklahoma City's in town to play the Lakers. Marcus Smart has been ruled out to return from injury tonight. Tip-off at 7:30. Also at 7:30, Dallas at the Clippers, and Cruz Azul will face LAFC at 7. That is the first leg of CONCACAF Champions Cup quarterfinals. So with all that out of the way, let's get to the news. I admire the team spirit, but I am not sure this is a smart idea. Luka Dončić is currently in Spain to get some European magic voodoo treatment on his strained left hamstring. It's an injection of something. Nobody's reporting what it is. Stem cells? The blood of the elderly? Nobody knows. Nobody's reporting what it is. Nobody seems to have a name for it. And by the way, kind of the first big clue that that's a little risky. We should have all had maybe a little bit more skepticism about that kind of stuff a couple of years ago. Not to be conspiracy theorist here, but it sounds a little bit too familiar. Since when did Dr. Fauci start practicing medicine in Spain? Even more when you take into account this goop hasn't been approved here. If this medicine had a name, at least we over here who would like to see Luka Dončić be able to walk, we could sit there and say, oh, he's getting blah, and we could research the efficacy, right? Rushing to return sounds awesome. It sounds like the stuff you would expect from a face of the franchise. But the last noticeable grade 2 hamstring that I recall in the NBA happened to Denver's Peyton Watson. Now, how do I know who Peyton Watson is? It's because I've been looking up potential free agents for the Lakers that they might want to get during the summer. He's a restricted free agent. He's a 3-and-D guy. Watson tried to return from a grade 2 hamstring strain after 46 days. And after a couple of days, the hamstring was aggravated, and now nobody knows when he'll be back. So, do you sit there and you say, you know what, Luka, we kind of get it, we appreciate it, maybe sit this one out. We get it. We get it. And I don't see anybody really passing Oklahoma City in the West this year outside of San Antonio anyway. Didn't that game last week kind of serve as a big hinty hint? It's okay. I'd rather that guy be 100%. with a new roster around him. If you're a Laker fan, let me know what you think. But at least when somebody undergoes surgery or something, we can describe what's happening and say whether it's a good idea. If it matters, when Puka Nacua checked into rehab, I mean a holistic care facility, that was before the lawsuit was filed against him because of his behavior on New Year's Eve at the come celebrate the most influential anti-Semite party. The bloggerati is claiming that the Rams want to move on. It is all a dunzo thing. Can't have them play anymore. That's a joke. A bad joke. Because we'll get to a more important reason in a moment. But if you read the mock drafts, there are credible people who create mock drafts who are suggesting that the Rams draft a wide receiver, right? Say Mekhi Lemon of USC. Now, I don't have a problem with that because the Rams often run 3 wide receiver formations. Yes, we know last season they started to adjust. They were going 3 tight end formations. They would love the idea of optioning back and forth between the two. But to draft, say, Lemon and then move on from Nacua, which again, the bloggerati is urging, that's a joke. So here's why. A couple of decades ago, I read this book called Pros and Cons, which went into great deal over the lengths that NFL teams will go to look the other way. To look the other way. Felonies, convictions. Nacua isn't anywhere near any of that stuff. And like I said, those are, and by the way, those are for players who don't even come close to putting up the numbers that Puka Nacua does. And by the way, nobody at said party believes, or nobody at said party, aside from the woman filing the lawsuit, said Nacua is an anti-Semite. There are way too many holes. This story is a little bit too sketch to dump arguably the top wide receiver in the NFL. Odds are the dude comes out on the other side. And then he apologizes to everybody from here all the way to Tel Aviv, and then he keeps his mouth shut for years. By the way, we can talk about it being rehab or holistic care as much as you want. The number one lesson Nacua is going to learn while he's locked away in this luxury hidey hole is to shh. That's going to be the big thing. But the reason that I bring Nacua up today, it's because he's in the final year of his rookie contract. During the season, we were all talking about how Nacua was going to get this massive payday. Generational wealth would understate how much money this guy was going to pull until he started to make an ass of himself, right? Dude was about to get paid, and then he started making an ass of himself. How much money did he lose? Put it this way. Seattle's Jackson Smith-Njigba, who, by the way, pretty damn good receiver. Let's not undersell him. But he doesn't put up the numbers Puka Nacua does. He was going into the final year of his rookie contract, and in March, he signed a 4-year, $168 million contract. How much money did Nacua lose by going to the wrong party with the wrong people? Not going with the good kids. I don't believe the dude's an anti-Semite. But having said that, you may have lost tens of millions of dollars, my dude. And unfortunately, that's your fault. I mentioned Dalton Rushing a few minutes ago. I want to chat a little more about him because he has 3 homers in 2 days. You might recall we were talking about him during spring training. Dave Roberts said he was going to have to learn to excel when his number is called. Because, of course, he's behind Will Smith. Will Smith has zero fears about his job security. So, how is Rushing holding up this time? Quote from Roberts: "The conversation he's had with the coaches is better. The emotion spikes are less. Even in game, you have a couple of bad at-bats, but you still focus on getting your pitcher through the game. That's growth. This is his lot right now, and he's adjusting," unquote. Now, Rushing's prior two starts before Monday, this is odd, comes when Roki Sasaki pitches, of all people. Sasaki has a private catcher. For a guy who couldn't find home plate all spring training long, an ERA of 15, and he gets the private catcher. Now, putting that aside, Rushing said, quote, "It's part of being a Dodger. You swallow your pride and do whatever you can to help the team win," unquote. And Rushing's bat has obviously mattered. Mookie Betts sounded every bit like a middle-aged man. Every middle-aged man I've ever met, which, by the way, is everybody in my high school reunion. He talked with the LA Daily News about his back and said the same thing everybody at my reunion is going to say. Quote, "I feel great. Honestly, I don't even really notice it hurts. I mean, I'll have to do like certain movements for it to hurt, but it's very specific movements," unquote. My dude, I hurt my back 2 weeks ago. Said the same damn thing, behaved the same damn way. The difference between Mookie Betts and me, though? Oh, I don't know. He's a professional athlete. Sliding, twisting, and to turn around to look for pop flies. Torquing your core to turn a double play. Yeah, stop acting if everything is copacetic, dude. You got to let that bad boy heal a little bit. Can hardly wait to see all the excuses that the people I went to high school with, where they try to explain away their beer guts and their knee braces. What's that little bottle of blue pills? Oh, nothing. Over at USC basketball, Jerry Easter entered the transfer portal the day after Easter. Easter is gonzo after Easter. Hey, yo. But this move could actually sting the Trojans a little bit. Dude arrived at USC as a top 50, 55 level recruit. He only averaged 4.4 points and played a little bit more than 17 minutes per game. Not amazeballs, not trash, right? But the reason that this could suck is because, again, he's a top 50-ish player, and there's going to be multiple openings at guard for the Trojans, wouldn't you think? Chad Baker-Mazara kicked off the team, no more eligibility anyway. He was a shooting guard. Oddly enough, by the way, speaking of USC, milliseconds after the final buzzer in the national title game, milliseconds, ESPN posted its way too early top 25 rankings. You want to hear something goofy? USC is ranked. It's not an official ranking, but they believe that the Trojans have the 17th best team in the land for next season. UCLA, by the way, not included. Go figure. I can understand it if somebody injects what Luka Dončić is getting in a shot glass. But you let me know what you think in the comments thread. Talk to me about whether you think I'm off base about, say, Luka Dončić or Puka Nacua. And if you enjoyed the update, don't forget to subscribe to Faithful Angelenos. We're talking LA sports every single day. Thank you for watching. I'm James. We'll be back tomorrow on the road. Faithful Angelenos is a Corte El Queso production. Take care.